All right, guys, well, I got a 1952 Ferguson TE820 made in England. Let's take this bad boy home and get her fixed up. Pretty excited for this. Well, hey there, now we're at the house. I've been wanting to do a video like this for many years now. I got my love of motorcycles, I think, from my grandpa on the other side of the family and my dad probably. And I got my love of tractors from my other grandpa. So I've been wanting to get one of these things for years now. Probably back to when we had our first acreage back in 2020. And had some use for one back then, probably more of a loader. On this property, the main issue that I see going forward is a lot of hurricane damaged trees. This might be hard to tell in the video, but especially back there, we probably have about half an acre over there, and there's a lot of trees that are just horizontal. Like there's one right there that broke off halfway. There's a whole bunch of birch trees and stuff that are all falling down, and it's more than just cutting them down. Unfortunately, it's a lot of them are hung up, like this tree right here. It's a little bit later in the day in the winter, so the light might not be great, but a lot of them are cut off at the base or broken off at the base, but they're hung up in other trees. And it's kind of like Jenga knocking all these trees down. Actually, there's one right there, and it's broken off halfway and it's rotted halfway through. So there's a lot of dangerous trees here that I got to cut down, and having this tractor is going to help me a lot. It's going to help me to pull some of these trees down. I didn't want to use my truck for that. So here I got a 1952 Ferguson TE820, and from what I understand, the A means that it was built in Coventry, England. This thing's far from perfect. A lot of dry rot in the tires here. This tire is definitely going to have to be replaced. It doesn't really like to steer very well in the snow, and I'm assuming that's going to be worse in the mucky mud and all that stuff. The hood here, it's got a little bit of rot on the inside here, so these bolts, this should be sitting down further, but the bolts have nothing to go into anymore. This tire tread is a lot better. I think that they have tubes in them, so I'm not too concerned about the actual tire itself, but at least the tread on this one's fine. The back tires look great until you really get up close and there's a little bit of dry rot in them, but again, if I can put some tire sealer in there, I think I'll be okay. What I had to do with this thing so far, it was kind of annoying. It wouldn't run properly for more than a few seconds at a time. So I had to go over to the carburetor on this side here, and I had to back out this screw a bunch of times, and now it runs without stopping. And the choke, I think the choke needs a little spring on it, because when I pull up on the choke lever, there's a plate in here. It's also kind of cold out right now, but anyways, that plate doesn't close all the way, so I have to manually hold this and then pull out on the choke lever and hold that in place for it to start up, which is kind of annoying. A lot of the hoses need to be replaced. They've got, you know, some cracking or dry rot in them. This fuel line here, somebody installed like a bleeder or something for some reason, and then there's an aftermarket fuel filter there, and that kind of sucks air, leaks fuel sometimes. This is supposed to have like a copper line, proper fuel line the entire way up to the fuel bowl there. So overall, really, like, it's dirty. It looks pretty ugly. It's got a couple of leaks and stuff, but it seems to be in okay condition. It's got a lot of Bondo that somebody used over the years on this thing, so I'll have to fix all that. I'm not going to do like a proper restoration on this, but I think I'm going to get it out of the gray color at some point and paint it some kind of nicer color than gray. I know gray is the little gray Fergie. It's supposed to be gray and all that, but I think it looked cooler being some other colors instead. Probably do a two-tone on it or something like that of some kind. From what I understand, this one has an 85 millimeter bore or something like that. So apparently that means it's like a 28 horsepower kind of thing. The John Deere lawnmower that I've been abusing for the last few years has 17.5 horsepower, so this is a little bit better than that. And the big issue that I have with this so far, and I knew it when I bought it, but the PTO won't lower. So I think I'm gonna have to clean the PTO out, and hopefully it's just clogged up or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I know the PTO spins, but it goes up most of the time, but it won't go down at all. Sometimes it'll lower a little bit, but it won't go down, and it's supposed to go down operating the lever over here. So I thought I was going to get a 4-8N or something like that, but I couldn't find one, and I had to drive like an hour and a half away to get this one. I like it. It's a little bit weird having like the individual tire brakes or wheel brakes. I don't think I'll ever really use that. I just need the normal brake pedal itself is good enough. It's got a couple of things that are broken that could be fixed and stuff on it, but it's actually surprisingly a comfortable seat, and some goober welded the steering wheel on, so that's kind of fun. I could always knock that off with a grinder and pull the wheel off if I had to. The serial plate is kind of gone. I can read a serial number on it, but everything else is gone on it. And this starter switch here is kind of worn out, so I'll probably replace that. It's got a keyed ignition, and it's missing the red light over here. Supposedly, I had to Google it, but I guess this is an air intake here, which is kind of interesting. So, and they had some other stuff going on. I'm not sure if that's where the light is or if it was over here, but they've had a bunch of different switches and stuff in here over the years. I do like that it has the headlights on it, and now that I got the carburetor adjusted and stuff, it seems to be running just fine. I towed a little trailer around the yard there recently. That's the date stamp, so I'm thinking November the 24th, 1952 is when this is built. Even the radiator seems to be original on it too. And it does have a generator on it right here, but it seems to be a factory 12 volt, not a conversion, so that's kind of cool. And even the radiator seems to be from 1952 as well. Based on that, it is missing some of the tags and stuff, but it's pretty old. So, and that's what I'm talking about with some of the rot and stuff. Pretty sure I can easily fix that. Really shouldn't be a big deal at all. I still have to grease this thing. You can see it's got a couple of dents in the hood and all that, but not a big deal. Fuel tank seems to be in okay shape. But yeah, I'm going to start putting this thing to work once the snow is melted and pull down some trees. And don't have a wood stove yet, but I'm going to be going that direction. So you'll see more tractor videos coming up as I fix things slowly on it. It's not really going to be a huge priority doing the redneck restoration on it or anything, but I'll do little bits as I go. I got a radiator hose here that could be replaced, and spark plug wires look good, but I know that I have some fuel in the oil, so that's kind of annoying. And luckily with these motors, if you do have like any internal problems, you can just re-sleeve the block, and it seems to be fairly straightforward. So I think that's something I'll probably just do on my own, but I still have to do like an initial oil change and stuff on it. It's got the filter on the side, and this is actually kind of a cool oil cap too, the different brand names and stuff on it. And it's hard to tell too, like the oil smells like fuel, but at first I wondered if it was just moisture because it doesn't get used a lot and it sits outside. The last guy the guy that I bought it off of was a young kid, and basically he was just going to use it for like a woods tractor kind of thing and fix it up slowly, but I'm not really sure what he really did to it. So anyways, got to do some maintenance and stuff on it, but I'm just stoked to have an actual tractor for the first time in my life. And I've only really run it around in, I think, second gear, mostly first gear, and it's almost too fast. I kind of wonder about that Sherman shift that you sometimes see on the Fords, like over here, and I think that would be a pretty cool way to go if I ever did get like an 8N or something like that, just to have a little bit slower, because I got a couple acres here, but I just don't really need to be driving around super fast on this property. I don't really see the point in that. It's not a real farm or anything like that. Ideally, what I think I'm going to do with this is fix it up, get it painted nicer, get it running real nice and all that, make sure there's no major engine problems, and then I think I'll sell it. And hopefully if I make a bit of a profit on it, then I can kind of upgrade and trade up to the next thing, and one day get something with a loader on it too would be really cool. So this is kind of the view that you get sitting on the operator station, as they call it. It's pretty sweet. So I like how much visibility there is, and yeah, it's actually like the seats spring loaded and it's pretty comfortable. So I was out here in like minus 10 or something like that a while back there, when it first snowed, driving it around the yard and towing a trailer around and stuff, and it was pretty fun. So anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate the support on the channel. I know it's kind of all over the place and the name's changed a bunch of times and whatever, but every view that I get is more money to help me fix projects like this and keep things going. So thanks for doing that. Have a good day. Bye.